Your ability to work on large equipment such as RVs, buses, trains, and even farm machinery can be a good way to build a positive reputation in your area. Recently, we were asked to perform a windshield replacement on a tactical SWAT vehicle, the Lenco Bear. Although its windshields weren't damaged by any impacts or gunfire, severe distortion occurred, limiting visibility and overall functionality.
There is always a chance that you may get asked to do a job like this, and it can be a bit intimidating or outside of your comfort zone. But if you focus on the right areas of removal and installation, these jobs can get easier over time and can be quite profitable.
The Lenco Bear is a tactical support vehicle for military defense and law enforcement. At over 16 tons, the vehicle needs a clear view to be able to navigate intense situations. The custom-made 3-inch thick windshields on the Lenco Bear are over 225 pounds each, so the real difficulty here is safely navigating the glass in and out of the opening that have very exact tolerances.
You may or may not be set up for performing these kinds of installations, but we wanted to show you that if you can overcome and adapt to a few minor obstacles, you should be able to do the kind of job or work effectively.
So let's get started with the windshield replacement on the Lenco Bear.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the area that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to be using the Excalibur to cut this windshield out. And I'm going to turn the tool on against the glass and start cutting it. The lubricant is really important, so I want to make sure that I shoot the glass with water, so this way the blade will run smoothly. Now I'm going to start with the A-pillar. And give it a couple passes, just like you would a paintbrush, just back and forth.
Now that Gilbert has it cut from the inside, on this particular vehicle, obviously there's no moldings on it. What they did is actually filled it flush with urethane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Freedom and I'm going to cut down along the body side and on the glass side, remove all this urethane, then we can go back in and Gilbert's going to push on the window and see how much he actually has cut from the inside. So now that I have pretty much all the urethane taken out around the perimeter, what I want to do is have Gilbert actually push on it so we can see where it is and isn't loose. Okay, all right. So I think he's still got some areas in the corners, it looks like. So on the inside, he's going to go ahead and continue cutting on the inside. Give it a push.
Ready?
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Now that we've cut the windshield out from the outside and the inside, Jason's going to go ahead and set up some suction cups. The suction cups that we're using are not auto glass suction cups, they're glazing cups because this glass is so heavy. Then after that, he's going to go ahead and place the harness and then raise it up with a hoist. Watch your fingers. We're good. Yep. There you go.
Now we've got it all out, obviously. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave this here and we're going to back the truck up because our winch isn't on any pulleys or anything like that. So we're going to back the truck up, we're going to take the window down, we're going to prepare the surface in the truck, get that ready, and then we're going to prepare our new window. Now that we have the old windshield out, we need to trim down all the old existing urethane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our WK6 set, I'm going to scrape it down here, and probably the SC170 as well. We got a little bit of urethane that was from the flush mount on the outside. Get that all trimmed off, get it prepped, and ready to put our new windshield in. Now that I have all the old urethane trimmed off, I'm going to go ahead, start covering up any scratches by following the urethane adhesive manufacturer's recommendations. Now what I'm going to do is cover up any scratches that I have. Now I just cleaned the windshield, so now I'm going to go ahead, get it ready to put primer on. And we're going to use Thinol Special Cleaner. We're just going to wipe the perimeter down, and then we're ready to prime it. Go ahead and apply the primer to the glass. I want to go in one direction so I have an even coat of primer on the surface. If you start going back and forth, it gets uneven surface, uneven primer amount on the surface. I'm putting a little primer on the sides here for when we run the urethane on the outside. Because there's no molding on it, we want to fill it in with urethane, so when we do that flush fill with the urethane, just want to make sure it bonds to the surface that they have here. Per manufacturer's recommendations, I'm going to install a foam dam. Another step the manufacturer wants us to do is install little spacer blocks, so that way when we set the window in, it doesn't lay tight against the body. All right, now that we have our foam and our spacer blocks in, we're ready to run the urethane.
Beautiful.
Now the next and final step is going to be filling in with the urethane, making it flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make life a little easier for myself. I'm just going to tape off both edges. That way I can fill it in, smear it in nice and smooth, and we'll be good to go. I'm going to put on a couple pairs of gloves, probably like 3, maybe 4. So that way, when I smear, and what I can do is take one layer of glove off and I have a fresh one, rather than paper towels and just making a mess. It just seems to make things flow and make it go easier. I'm actually going to use the handgun on this. That way I have a lot more control with it, and I can pump it much easier, and rather than having power in there and getting too much power and urethane gets a little crazy and starts going all over the place. So definitely easier to use it by hand. So what I'm doing is I'm just filling in, and I'm actually letting it fill a little bit before I pull, just to help fill up the gap a little bit, because we do want it to go down in a little bit, but not too far. So as you can see how much urethane it actually does take. We're on our second tube here. Now what I'm going to do is put a little glass cleaner on my glove that I'm going to use, and just simply help push it into place. And see, there's the reason why a couple layers of gloves, just nice and simple. Now that I've pulled the tape off, I'm going to give it another 20, probably 30 minutes just to tack up, get tack-free time. That way I can clean it, so when I do clean it, I'm not smearing urethane everywhere. I know a lot of you guys out there that probably have worked on some of these, might have your own little special techniques or methods on how to work on one of these. We just wanted to give you a basic idea on how to work on these trucks.
So if you have any questions, contact us at autoglassacademy.com.